welcome back to my channel, Nerd It This Way. I'm Mahalia, and exit all that out. So I'm gonna put a face mask on because I put face masks on twice a week. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about I only have two books, the worst books of 2020. So my list is smaller than everybody else's because I don't know why my list is smaller, but I had a pretty good year apparently.
Ma-hell-yea, in this world, you must know who you are.
Okay, so I have on the exotic green tea, an Asian pear, exfoliating, cleansing, mud, and body mask. I don't know how this is gonna fit all over your body, but okay. So that's it. Oh, thumbnail. So, okay. I'm gonna go from my, like, not really worst, but kind of really low, and then the book. So, everyone is doing this. This is a booktube thing every year. People make a list of their worst books. Unfortunately, recently there have been authors giving their own opinions on, how they feel about the worst books of the year kind of thing. But I think it comes with the territory of watching your own reviews, like your book reviews or reviews of your book. And it's hard not to take it personal, which I totally get, because I am a work in progress, working on my own book, and I am very sensitive about my book baby right now. So I understand. However, I'm also gonna be one of those people that are like, not everybody's gonna like my book. That'd be great if nobody, disliked it. That'd be wonderful if everybody just loved my shit. Like, ooh, that would be great. But, that's not realistic. So, the first book I'm going to talk about is Bartimaeus trilogy. It is by Jonathan Stroud. What I'm talking about is book 3. I have the book. Wait a minute. This is book 3, and it is the Palomi's Gate. Okay, so I binge read the series for foil cover, pretty. Anyways, so I binge read the series, and I give the entire series a 3 out of 5, but this book is like a 2. There were so many things about this book that was just like, okay, yeah, okay, sure. All right, meh. Like, I don't remember what I liked about this book. It was like that. It's one of those books where I was like, meh. Okay, like, this is not one of those books where it's like, oh my gosh, that ending was epic. The character growth, because some of the characters grew and some of them, like, didn't, and then some of them were like, okay, yeah, that figures. But overall, it was okay. Like, because this was an anticipated book, which I think is another reason why people have such long, like, worst books of 2020, is because the expectation that rides these books, like, the hype over it, like, I feel like I got catfished by a book. Like, if you look at the cover, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be magical. There's some weird bear creature thing going on. Oh my gosh. And then when you read it, you're like, what the hell? When does it get good? Like, what happens? Where's the good stuff? Because you're 2-part perspective, and you're just like, what the hell am I reading? Like, why am I doing this to myself? But this book was not as bad. This was not as bad as this next book I'm going to talk about. And I feel so bad. So here's the story. Let me back up. So, once upon a time, I took part in a buddy read with Reads with Rachel and Kim. I can't think of what her channel name is, but I will have both of their channel picture things up. And at the time, we were supposed to read a different book, but Rachel and I were texting, and we were like, oh, let's just read something else. It's not as political. And I was like, well, what books do you have? And like, what books do I have? So we can just, instead of buying something or anything like that. Right? You know, just trying to like see what we have. Because I was on a book buying bin. And so she was like, I have the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin or Jenna Glass's Women's War. And I was like, oh, Jenna's Glass, I have both book 1 and 2. Wait a minute. And then it was like, you know, the cover was like, it correlated with the Me Too movement and a woman's empowering book with fantasy and magic and war. And I was like, yeah, sign me up. So I didn't finish that book. I DNF'd that book so hard, so fast. We did a live video. I'll have it in the cards. That book was so bad. Like, I couldn't finish it. And I was like pumping the book up, like, oh yeah, we should just read this. They'll probably never want to buddy read with me again. And I don't blame them, because that book was awful. So the book kind of has this magic system that they're trying to make more complicated than it actually is. And so by doing that, she has all these promises that you're like, oh my God, when this happens, it's going to be great. Oh, when this happens, it's going to be great. And there's like little bits of insta love, and you're following this royal family and this woman who has to marry this guy, but she's in love with her guard. And her brother has a wife who's like super cool, but she's like timid, and he's abusive, and he's fat, and he's just unhappy. And then you have these brothel workers who are supposed to go to this new land and be free and be like, you know, She-Ra and She-Hulks and independent and just not dependent on no man, and they become super dependent. There's insta love with this Cowboy Bebop character that's like the queen's brother. The book was bad. Like, and I'm one of those people that buy like the first 2 books in a series. Like, if I think it's good, I'll buy it. I feel like I got catfished again. Like, I was so ready that I was embarrassed when we were doing the live show, because I was like, I haven't read it, and I think it's trash. Oh my gosh, what if it's not? And then, you know, unanimously we decided it was just like garbage, and I was like, oh my God, this book is so bad. How dare they put Me Too in it? It needs to be not me. Like, there's a scene where it's really graphic rape scene, trigger warnings. Just don't pick the book up. Sorry, Jenna. Normally, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh my God, just stay away from the book. But that book has nothing but trigger warnings in it. So if you're like easily triggered, or not even if you're easily triggered. So here's the thing. Think of this. In Sicily, 1984. I'm so... Anyways, moving on. But, so there's this scene. This is just giant mass rape scene, and these women are brutalized and tormented, and then they're sent off into the desert with these guards, this new group of guards that are supposed to protect them and watch over them or something like that. And the leader, you know, they go through this horrible ordeal, is like, fuck you, I'm gonna walk all the way there, right? Like, all right, I don't need you. And I'm like, yes, you do that. You walk with your sandals. Do it. And then she's in love, like, when they get to the town. Like, love. Like, oh my gosh, like, look at him in his stirrups and his tumbleweeds and in this little town. Oh, he took us to a different part of the world where we're not supposed to be. Ooh. Like, it just everything about that the part that I read, because I stopped and I was like, some of this doesn't make sense, but maybe I don't read enough of, women's fiction to know, because I'm slowly trying to get out of the genre I read a lot of. But this did not do that. So here's the thing. This is not a. I was gonna say this isn't a negative review, but it is. This book was bad. I only have 2 books out of all 100 books that I've read. I've read a lot of alien romance. I read a lot of manga, manhwa, and Chinese webcomics. I don't really know what they're called. I think they're called dojins. I don't know. Those were bomb. These 2 books were not. They were awful. Like, I want my time back. Like, and I think that's one of the problems we have in BookTube is the hype train. We all jump on it, and then when we start reading it, we're like, what is this catfish garbage that I have fed myself, that I've waited to feed myself? So that's all I got. Those were the only 2 books that I was just like, what am I doing with my life? Other than that, I had a great year, a great reading year. Like, it took me a minute to get through a bunch of books, but overall, it was pretty great. This mask, though, like, it is very hard to move anything. When it dries, it's like real stiff. I don't know if you can tell, but my eyebrows are barely free. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to take this thing off. Ooh. It's like, just sucks all the life out of my face. Like, I feel like it's like, I don't know, scary. I'm scared to take it off. But, yeah, so if you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Mahalia. I plan on doing Wednesdays and Fridays masked videos. And, those are my concrete days. Those 2 days are definitely... Wednesday may or may not have a mask on, maybe not, but definitely Friday I will have masks on. So there's that, and so I wanted to kind of share my little nugget of disappointment with the world, like everybody else. Just kind of add my little piece of coal to the pile so we can all burn these books. Just not really burn them, but like metaphorically, you know what I mean. I explain everything so nobody gets upset. But yes, if you're a subscriber, hi. Please forgive me for hyping up Women's War if you read it. I mean, okay. Somebody loves this book. Just not me or the people I read it with.